In 2025, something extraordinary happened. Malaysia became the only country in Southeast Asia to host both Chinese President Xi Jinping and the US President Donald Trump in the same year. Just think about that. Two of the world's most powerful and rival leaders, representing the two biggest superpowers on Earth, both setting foot in the same country within months of each other. In today's tense geopolitical climate, that's almost unheard of. And yet, it happened in Malaysia. So how did Malaysia pull this off? How did this small but strategic nation become one of the most admired and respected countries in Southeast Asia, able to welcome both East and West while staying perfectly balanced in between? When you think about Southeast Asia, maybe you picture Singapore's skyscrapers, Thailand's beaches, or Vietnam's booming factories. But lately, it's Malaysia that's capturing global attention, not by being the loudest, but by playing the smartest game in the region. In this video, we're going to uncover how Malaysia became the region's most admired nation through smart diplomacy, economic resilience, and leadership that knows how to win respect from every side. Let's get started. First, how Malaysia balances between the East and West. Now, how did Malaysia pull that off? Simple: smart diplomacy. Malaysia has mastered what many other countries struggle with, maintaining a neutral stance in a world divided between the US and China. While other nations in the region have been pushed to pick a side, Malaysia has refused to play that game. When Xi Jinping visited Malaysia in April 2025, it wasn't just a casual diplomatic stop. It symbolized China's recognition of Malaysia as a trusted partner in ASEAN. China is Malaysia's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade hitting over $190 billion in 2024. During Xi's visit, new deals were signed on renewable energy and digital infrastructure, two areas where Malaysia is positioning itself as a regional leader. But here's where things get even more interesting. Just 6 months later, in October 2025, Malaysia hosted Donald Trump during the ASEAN summit. This was Trump's first return to the region since leaving office, and his decision to attend the summit in Kuala Lumpur was no coincidence. It showed that even Washington recognizes Malaysia's central. Second, how Malaysia maintains economic growth and trade diversity. Malaysia doesn't just talk about peace, it actively works for it. One of the best examples came earlier this year when Malaysia helped broker a truce between Thailand and Cambodia, two ASEAN members that had been quietly escalating tensions over border disputes. While bigger countries stayed silent, Malaysia stepped up, hosting closed-door talks in Putrajaya. And it worked. The Malaysia-brokered truce helped de-escalate a situation that could have spiraled into a serious regional conflict. The deal focused on demilitarizing border zones and establishing joint economic projects along the shared boundary. Now, that might not sound as flashy as a big trade deal or military pact, but in diplomacy, it's the quiet wins that matter most. Malaysia showed it could bring rivals to the table and get them talking, a role that earns enormous respect within ASEAN. Even international observers took note. The UN Secretary-General's office publicly praised Malaysia's leadership in upholding the ASEAN spirit of dialogue and unity. In a region filled with complex histories and sensitive borders, this was no small achievement. Third, how Malaysia unites its cultural diversity for global respect. Let's talk about Malaysia's economy, because this is another big reason it's admired. Despite global uncertainties, Malaysia's economy continues to grow steadily. In 2024, Malaysia's GDP expanded by around 4.3%, driven by strong exports in electronics, palm oil, and the growing green technology sector. And unlike many countries that rely heavily on one market, Malaysia has diversified trade, working with both China and the West. For example, Malaysia is a key player in the semiconductor supply chain. Big American firms like Intel and Texas Instruments have expanded operations in Penang, while China has invested in Malaysia's new industrial parks in Johor. So whether it's chips for the West or batteries for electric vehicles from the East, Malaysia is right in the middle, quietly making money from both sides. Investors love that kind of balance. In 2025, Malaysia attracted over $25 billion in foreign direct investment, a 12% increase from the previous year. Its strategic location between the Indian Ocean and South China Sea makes it the gateway to Southeast Asia, and that's a card Malaysia plays exceptionally well. The country also benefits from political stability compared to some of its neighbors. While political shifts do happen, Malaysia has maintained a relatively predictable environment for business. That stability, combined with smart diplomacy, is exactly what investors and global leaders find attractive. Fourth, how Malaysia embraces cultural harmony and diversity. But Malaysia's success isn't just about politics or economics, it's also about people. Few countries in the world can boast the kind of diversity Malaysia has. Malays, Chinese, Indians, and indigenous communities all live side by side. Walk through Kuala Lumpur and you'll see a mosque, a temple, and a church within the same neighborhood. This multicultural identity isn't just something Malaysia tolerates, it's something the nation celebrates. Festivals like Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, and Deepavali are national holidays enjoyed by everyone. This inclusive attitude gives Malaysia an image of harmony and tolerance, something many countries around the world struggle to achieve. Even visitors notice it. Tourists often say Malaysia feels balanced, modern yet traditional, diverse yet united. This cultural coexistence makes Malaysia not just a destination, but an example. And here's something interesting. This harmony also strengthens Malaysia's diplomacy. Because the country understands different cultures and perspectives, it's naturally better at mediating international issues and connecting with global partners from different backgrounds. Fifth, how Malaysia stands as a voice of reason in global affairs. Another reason Malaysia is admired, it isn't afraid to speak its mind on global issues. For decades, Malaysia has stood up for what it believes is right, whether it's supporting Palestine, calling for peace in Myanmar, or pushing for fairness in international trade. Unlike some countries that align their foreign policies purely based on alliances, Malaysia often speaks from a moral standpoint. For example, during the UN General Assembly in 2024, Malaysia's Prime Minister gave a speech criticizing the world's double standards in addressing conflicts. He emphasized that justice should not depend on who your allies are. That line went viral on social media, especially across the global south, where many people feel the same way. Malaysia doesn't have the biggest military or the largest economy, but it has something just as powerful: credibility. When Malaysia talks about peace, others listen because it practices what it preaches. Even Western diplomats, who may not always agree with Kuala Lumpur's stance, admit that Malaysia's voice carries weight because it's grounded in principle, not politics. Sixth, how Malaysia leverages tourism and soft power for global influence. And let's not forget Malaysia's soft power, its ability to win hearts through culture, tourism, and human connection. Tourism is one of Malaysia's strongest cards. Before the pandemic, Malaysia welcomed over 26 million visitors annually, making it one of the top tourist destinations in Asia. And that number is climbing again. By 2025, it's expected to exceed 30 million. But what really stands out is why tourists love Malaysia. It's not just about beaches or skyscrapers, it's the people. Malaysians are known for being friendly, humble, and down to earth. The country's tourism slogan, Malaysia, Truly Asia, isn't just marketing, it's a reflection of its rich cultural mix. Then there's food. Malaysian cuisine, a blend of Malay, Chinese, and Indian flavors, is often listed among the best in the world. Dishes like nasi lemak, laksa, and roti canai have become cultural ambassadors on their own. And this soft power, built on culture, hospitality, and diversity, plays a huge role in shaping Malaysia's positive global image. While some countries project power through military or money, Malaysia wins admiration through kindness, culture, and connection. Seventh, how Malaysia's leadership reflects confidence and maturity. Finally, let's talk about leadership. Malaysia's leaders have learned to navigate international politics with a level of confidence and maturity that many other nations admire. Leaders like Anwar Ibrahim project calm, intellect, and independence, a combination that makes Malaysia's diplomacy stand out. When he met both Xi Jinping and Donald Trump in the same year, Anwar sent a clear message. Malaysia doesn't belong to anyone's camp. It belongs to itself. That's a powerful statement in today's divided world. In interviews, Anwar often says Malaysia's goal is not to choose sides, but to choose peace. And that's exactly the kind of leadership the region needs: calm, pragmatic, and visionary. Even international analysts have noticed this shift. A report by the Asia Power Index 2025 noted that Malaysia has emerged as a middle power capable of influencing regional discourse beyond its size. In simpler words, Malaysia punches above its weight. So, how did Malaysia become the region's most admired nation? Not by trying to dominate, not by showing off its power, but by being smart, balanced, and consistent. In a world full of noise and rivalry, Malaysia's calm diplomacy stands out. It welcomes both Xi Jinping and Donald Trump, something no other country in Southeast Asia managed to do. It brokers peace where others see conflict. It trades with everyone while respecting its own principles. Malaysia proves that you don't have to be the loudest to be the most respected. Sometimes quiet confidence wins the loudest applause. And that's exactly what Malaysia is showing the world, that true power doesn't come from choosing sides, but from earning respect from all sides.